So what I'm experiencing is something that's apparently contradictory and at the same time doesn't feel contradictory, but it still feels contradictory to a part of me. So I'd like to talk about it a little bit, because talking about it helps me understand these things in significantly deeper fashions. So, basically, it's continuing to learn how to move from a non-dual mind, how to move from a dualistic mind and identity to a non-dualistic mind and identity. And there is a transition period, and I am in it. So, what it is, because normally when it feels like, alright, well, I'm going to honor the absolute nature of things. Great perfection, perfect and complete, lacking nothing. Therefore, there's nothing to be upset about. Literally, there's absolutely nothing whatsoever to be upset about. It's a dream of your own big mind. There's no karma or consequences. There's no residue. Nothing's happening. Manifestation is not real. It has no substance. It has no essence. Its essence is emptiness, which can't be damaged, which can't be hurt, which is timeless, which is formless, which is unqualifiable. So you say all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. The experience of it is unbelievable relief and liberation and freedom and gratitude and happiness and love and all that. So that's me sort of honoring the absolute side of things. Then on the other side of it, because I have spent so much time thinking about relative things, particularly in an alkyl or integral context, being around Ken all this time. So when I feel like, I'm going to honor the relative now, well, here's all these things to be upset about. So this could be better, that's not very integral, that's nowhere close to integral. The Middle East is exploding at the moment, and genetically modified foods are doing God knows what. So anyways, many things to be upset about. And usually, when I'm accessing one of them, absolute truth or relative truth, it's not that I'm locked out of the other side, it's just I often can't access it as easily. So if I'm pointing my attention and awareness towards recognizing ever-present great perfection, then in a certain sense my awareness and my attention isn't as free to think about relative considerations, and vice versa. If I'm thinking about so-called relative considerations, then I may not be recognizing ever-present great perfection nearly as strongly or clearly. So normally that's how these things often arise for me. It's one or the other. It might be colored by the other pole a little bit, but usually one or the other is arising. And so I've just been feeling crazy yesterday and today. And what's emerging, basically, is the ability to feel both at the same time in a very straightforward, unified manner. And so I'm bizarrely, just because it's still relatively new, able to experience everything is great perfection, perfect and complete, lacking nothing. But what my actual emotional color or demeanor or my feeling state, it's not that it's not. It is liberating and free and joyful. It is all those things. But it's mostly, I'm upset. But it's upsetness without a boundary. So it's not, I'm upset. And it's not upsetness. It's not a dualistic upsetness. It's, so it's just very strange. Nothing at all is wrong, ultimately. At all. Not even a little bit. And it's just so funny to me that the moment I acknowledge, yes, I understand. Okay, yeah, I got that. The moment I actually say, yes, I understand, I got that, what I actually feel is this extraordinary energy to make things better. Basically, to make things better. Or to honor more truths. Or to be more, to be a bigger identity. Not absolutely, because you can't get a bigger absolute identity. But how can I have a bigger, more comprehensive relative identity where I understand more? And am a more knowledgeable, informed citizen of the cosmos. So it's just so funny to me that as soon as I experience and acknowledge, right, great perfection, really, truly, perfect and complete, lacking nothing, that immediately after that, what I feel is there's so much to do, and there's so much I want to do, but the energy, that the source of that energy is not a finite self, it's not a contracted self. It feels like an infinite self. And I think that's part of the whole point, is that the infinite self does care about, or the infinite identity, whatever, does care about the manifest arising, because they're not separate. There's just this intense feeling of, as soon as I recognize and acknowledge nothing need be done, ever-present great perfection, and that becomes my experience, what immediately shifts over is, but God, do I care? I really care. And it fundamentally, and I think I mentioned this in an earlier recording I did, I finally feel free to care. When I fundamentally think, oh God, this is all real, that's just such a horrifying consideration, that the manifest world, as it appears, is actually real in and of itself, independent of any absolute principle of reality. That is such a horrifying feeling, and therefore you have to take everything you do incredibly seriously. And I can't do it. And I won't do it. As soon as the recognition, right, nothing need be done, perfect and complete, as soon as that arises, then the only thing I want to do is go make things better.